Welcome to PCN Life. I'm Julie Thompson here with Brian Sullivan. We have a great show for you tonight. We welcome Toast, the South Shore Conservatory Scholarship Band, on set for a live performance.
And Jeff Hills of Healthy Appetites is with us to talk about natural immunity.
Brian, tonight we're going to start with the second part of your trash and recycling project. Talk about that.
All right, so a few weeks ago we did a story on recycling, and at the end of it I mentioned that we didn't get to trash. We'll have to do a segment on that, and I didn't think anybody would actually hold me to it.
But you did it, and you wait till you see this. This is amazing. You're going to love this section on trash.
Trash, rubbish, waste, refuse, curbside pickup, or drop-off. No matter what it's called, it's all garbage, and as human beings, we're the only species on the planet making it, and we make tons of it, literally. People may be recycling now more than ever before, but it doesn't change the fact that we need to keep reducing our waste before we run out of places to put it.
Now here's something you don't see very often, me taking the garbage out. And believe it or not, it's not because I'm lazy. It's because in my house I've got about a 20-to-1 recycles to garbage ratio. So that means this only happens once every 3 or 4 weeks. What I want to know is when I do take this to my transfer station and throw it away, where exactly is away?
The word away has taken on a bit of a new meaning since the start of the new millennium, and at least now it's somewhat more environmentally friendly.
When I was a little kid, the landfill was a big hole. And my father and I would just come up here with our pickup truck and we'd back up to the hole, and everything, trash, engines, any debris that residents had, construction debris, all went in the hole, and it was buried. That was the way it was. Because of new regulations within the DEP and the EPA, plus the issues they have with contaminating groundwater, they're starting to clean up landfills. There are no more landfills being opened in the state of Massachusetts because of that issue.
What used to be open valleys of garbage have taken the shape of these rolling green hills with pipes sticking up from the ground. Underneath that soil, you'll find layers of earth and compressed garbage. The pipes release methane gas to reduce the risk of underground explosions. Now to unpack the meaning of transfer station. It's a title that's been given to many former landfills. In the case of Kingston and other transfer stations from Boston to Acushnet, it's a drop-off point for local garbage and a pickup site for 18-wheelers to haul it off to this place here. This is the Covanta CMAS Resource Recovery Facility located in Rochester, Massachusetts. Since its construction in the late 1980s, CMAS has been taking in garbage from all over the South Shore and converting it to energy in this trash-fueled power plant. Throughout the day, big rigs and local trash haulers enter these gates, weigh out their cargo, and get in line before finally making it to the aptly named tipping hall.
And this is where every day between 250 and 300 trucks come in and tip out their garbage. Once it's been dumped onto the floor, it goes through a shredding process before eventually being shipped off to the boilers to be converted into electricity.
Inside the hall, the temperature goes up significantly enough to fog up the camera lens. But surprisingly, the smell isn't as unbearable as may have been expected. It actually becomes unnoticeable after a while. Smelly or not, this is the starting block of where the conversion takes place. What makes it here is what remains after the people who make the garbage, you and me, have done our part by recycling. It's something they stress here at CMAS.
You really have to be strident about your recycling. All the bits that are left over, we'll use one more time to make electricity. It's a renewable electricity. This facility takes in over 1 million tons of trash each year, and we produce about 600,000 megawatts of clean, renewable electricity, which is about 25% of the renewable electricity in Massachusetts.
From that 1 million tons of waste per year, the CMAS facility also produces about 890,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide, according to an EPA report from 2010. Statistics like these may give environmentalists pause, but the flip side is that the emissions are much lower than coal-burning plants, and by burning the trash, they're actually reducing the methane gas it would have produced had it been buried at a landfill. Of course, solar and wind are cleaner and more efficient sources of energy, but that's an apples to oranges argument since neither of those requires the burning of trash. This is a matter of what's the best possible method to get rid of our garbage and be productive in the process. By providing enough electricity to power 75,000 homes with its waste-to-energy program, CMAS fills that bill. The first step in that process takes place when the garbage gets pushed onto these conveyor belts to be shredded.
Shredding it is like the difference between a pellet stove and a wood stove. So we make more surface area, we expose the ferrous metals, so we pull those out with a magnet, clean those up, and send them out. We are the largest source of recycled metal in Massachusetts, so that's kind of cool.
Here's what much of that recycled metal looks like, but it can look like this as well. The estimated value of this pile is somewhere around $500,000. Another byproduct is the shredded garbage, known as PUF, or PRF, which stands for Processed Refuse Fuel.
So trash is now our PUF. We send that over to the boiler, and we use that as the fuel instead of coal or oil. We use that in the boiler to make the electricity. Trash is burnt, the fire heats water, water rises, steam turns the blades on the turbine, boop, out comes clean renewable electricity.
All of that energy production takes place in this building here. On the way up, we see the conveyor belt carrying away one of the other byproducts, ash. In a somewhat ironic twist of fate, this ash actually ends up in a landfill. After several flights of stairs, we find our way to what is essentially the mission control room of this waste-to-energy facility. Everything taking place under these roofs is seen by these people manning this room here. While the guys in this room seem to have everything under control, it is a stressful job watching roughly 3,200 tons of garbage pass through every day. Let's not forget, some of that garbage from the tipping room floor may not even make it to the boiler because it was comprised of well over 10% of recyclables by volume. 10% is a waste ban violation, which is a fine, and if it's a lot more than that, it may get shipped back to its source to be sorted out. Once again, recycling is paramount.
If you don't want to recycle for environmental reasons because it's the right thing to do, or financial reasons because you're paying me per ton for that item to come in, and I'll sell the metal if I can. If you don't want to do it for those two reasons, it's against the law in Massachusetts. It is banned from the waste. You're not allowed to throw out paper, glass, metal, some construction materials, asphalt, cement. There's an extensive list of items that you are not allowed to dispose of in the trash. That's why you have to recycle. So we're saving you from a life of crime.
But even if we do recycle, one noticeable component of the garbage here was plastic. Recycling facilities recapture roughly 25% of all plastic, which means that there's another 75% out there still unaccounted for.
All of that other plastic, we just really don't know what ends up to it. And once it ends up in the landfill, that is never going to biodegrade in the lifetime of a human being. That's going to be there for like 500 to 1,000 to we don't even know how many years because plastic's only been around for this century. So no one's ever actually witnessed it biodegrade. So that's something that's just going to be there, like slowly breaking. And since it's made out of petroleum, when it does break down, it's going to break down into petroleum. And that's going to pollute the aquifers that are already being polluted by stuff like this. So it's just going to end up exacerbating the problem. And that's the same exact thing with any other recyclable ending up in the landfill. And recycling it may seem like a drop in the bucket, but it's one of the most valuable actions you can take against environmental damage.
And that's something consumers should think of anytime they buy anything made of plastic.
At the risk of sounding like a broken record, it still comes back to the 3 R's, which are reduce, reuse, and recycle, with the heavy emphasis being placed on the first two. Reuse as much as you can until it can't be used anymore. And of course, reduce the overall amount of waste that you create. A simple way of looking at it would be, if you were planning on composting, you wouldn't go to the farmer's market, buy a bunch of vegetables, only to throw them all into your compost bin. You'd use every bit of them and only get rid of the waste. Well, that same logic can be applied to making garbage. And if I can figure this stuff out, anybody can figure it out. Reporting from Kingston for PCN Life, I'm Brian Sullivan.
Our health and wellness segment today brings back Jeff Hills, who is the proprietor of Healthy Appetites in Plymouth, to talk about health overall. But today we're going to talk about digestion, immunity, and a few other things. So what's on your mind today?
Well, these are things we talk about this time of year all the time. Everyone's out at parties, they're eating things they don't usually eat, they're eating in weird situations, they're eating too much. So digestion is a big thing from Thanksgiving right to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things you can do to help if you've got some issues. Now, the digestive tract starts right at the mouth and goes right, let's just call it to the other end. So right when you start chewing, your body starts secreting things to help you digest your food. So one of the things we don't often produce the way we should would be digestive enzymes.
Okay.
And their job is to do just what I said, to break the food from more complex things like carbohydrates and proteins and fats into things like simple sugars and amino acids and fatty acids, so your body can utilize them.
Sure.
So taking a digestive enzyme is great for people who say, I just ate a meal and I feel like I've got a brick sitting in my stomach.
Yeah.
That's going to help with that.
Okay.
It's also going to help have things not sit in your stomach, so you have less opportunity to just kind of have things come back up into the esophagus, acid reflux sort of things.
So what is a digestive enzyme that you could take?
Well, you could do anything that has the pancreatic enzymes, which would be lipase for fat, amylase for carbohydrates, protease for proteins.
Okay.
There's sort of other variations of the proteolytic enzymes, like bromelain is a popular one that's derived from pineapple.
Okay.
Papain is one that is derived from papaya. So you've heard people use papaya enzymes perhaps as a
These are all
as
natural.
an after meal thing.
These are all natural.
Yes,
Yep.
and they're just things that help. They work by helping you break down your food more
Okay.
efficiently. So
Okay.
that's a great thing to do. Acid reflux.
Yeah, that's
is
that's very prevalent in our society now, or they talk about it more.
I think that those might be the most prescribed class of drugs at this point.
Right.
Is
The purple pill. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they come with their own set of problems. I mean, the ones that are the proton pump blockers have been linked to osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, heart disease. It's
There's always an offshoot to the good part.
You feel
As
better,
you see
but
at the end of the commercials where they give all the things that could go wrong if you take this.
yeah,
Right.
and that might not be an all-inclusive list.
Right. Right.
But that's something that I think you don't want to be on long term, and we're
Right.
finding that there's long-term issues. So what are the alternatives? One of the better ones is going to be something that a lot of people probably have never heard of, and it's orange peel extract.
Oh,
And
from
it's
orange peels.
From orange peels.
Okay.
It's just what it sounds like. It's very, very, very effective. We're not 100% sure exactly what the mechanism of action is, like exactly how it helps.
Right.
But it seems to just coat the area that the acid would be impacting.
Great.
So you don't get the damage and you don't have the pain that you would
Right,
get, or the
right.
discomfort you would get from having acid reflux.
Okay.
So that would be one of my favorite things for acid reflux.
Mm-hmm.
There are some great derivatives of the herb licorice. Now we think of licorice as a candy,
Yes.
but that got its name from the herb licorice.
Okay.
And licorice is fantastic for ulcers and acid reflux and sour stomach.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do licorice as licorice has a chemical in it called glyceric acid.
All right.
So when you get ones that you want to use for digestion, you want to get something called DGL. And the DG in the DGL stands for deglycerized licorice.
Okay.
So it's licorice, but it has this chemical taken out that will, can potentially make your blood pressure go up.
Okay. All right.
So you want to get that type, and that's a great way to go.
Okay. So this is all about the stomach and how we
This
can.
is all-
Now, what about probiotics for the stomach? Because a lot of things go
That's
on
a-
in the stomach.
That's a really important thing. Now,
Yeah.
we mentioned immunity
We talk
and
about
digestion.
Yeah, and we talk about probiotics before, but it's so important. So speak to that.
It's a vital thing.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on whose numbers you look at, it's between 70 and 80% of your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
So most of your immune system is the little bugs living in your intestines.
Which still
Bug's
people
not a great word.
don't know that. So many people are not aware of that. That your immune system starts in your gut.
And it does.
Yeah.
And it's the majority of your immune system.
Yep.
And what do we typically do when we feel like we might have a bug in the winter?
Yeah.
Although this behavior is getting less and less prevalent, is people take an antibiotic.
Yeah. Right.
You're doing yourself, potentially something good by maybe killing the
Yep.
thing that's causing the issue, but you're wiping out the stuff that's preventing you from getting sick in other ways.
Right.
And it has a huge impact on your digestion. So
Right.
probiotics are a great thing for this time of year because they're going to help you
Right.
with your digestion.
Right.
Maybe help keep you regular. Probiotics are great for people who are constipated,
Yep.
might go more. People
Yep.
who go too much will hopefully go less.
Right.
It's
it
more
just
of a
regulates
balancing
your
thing.
system.
Exactly.
Right. Now, for young people and kids, they can take all this is natural, correct?
Yeah, there's really nothing. I mean, I haven't seen the orange peel extract used with kids, but
Okay.
it's not generally. I don't think a lot of kids have acid reflux.
Right.
But I've seen. I mean, we always recommend the probiotics for children.
Sure.
The digestive enzymes.
Yep.
Some of them are chewable, so
Yep.
those are used often with children.
Right.
There's other things that we would recommend for both digestion and immunity.
Yep.
that would be more specific to age. More often just because, you know, older people might have needs that younger people don't
have, right.
Younger people might need to do things that are chewable or liquid, so
Right,
that might be a
right.
whole different set of things.
Now, so for the way people eat nowadays, on the things, the chemicals and things that are in the foods these days, what do you do to offset that for your gut, for your belly?
The chemicals in the food, I mean, really, the best thing to do there is just avoid them.
Right.
I mean, as much as we can.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing this time of year.
Yep.
I mean, I'm very picky about what I eat, but I'm not going to go to a Christmas party
And have nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
going to go
right.
and eat all the same
Yep.
stuff everyone else
Yep,
does,
yep.
and pay for it in all the same ways
Yeah.
everyone else does.
Right.
But you know, I think that the best thing is if you've got something you know bothers you or you're
Yep.
sensitive to,
Yep.
stay away from it.
Sure.
You know, big things I like to see people stay away from that's really tough this time of year would be things like the GMO
Yep.
grains. And that's, I think, more so for the stuff they spray on the GMO grains
Sure.
as opposed to the grains themselves.
Right, right,
So I
right.
think those are things to avoid. In a lot of preservatives, I don't like any artificial sweeteners.
Yep.
You know,
Even like the Truvia, Stevia, those things that are
those aren't really artificial.
Okay,
So when
so
you've
those
got
are
things
real.
like,
So if you-
like
right.
sucralose,
Yep, get things from nature.
and aspartame,
Yep,
those are going to be
yep.
the artificial
better
ones.
for you. Okay. So bottom line is, this time of year especially, you want to take care of your gut. You want to watch what you eat if you can.
Yes.
But if you can't, try to use natural herbs, ingredients to make yourself feel better.
I think you'd be better off if you did.
Always take a probiotic, and that's year round. Taking probiotics, correct? That's the best thing you
If you
can
have no
do.
digestive issues and
Right.
you're the healthiest person in the world,
Yeah.
it's
Do-
still a great
yeah.
idea to do a
Right.
probiotic.
And it starts with a healthy lifestyle and healthy living,
Hopefully.
right? I mean, that's where we start, and we go from there.
That's
okay.
right.
Excellent. Great advice as always. We'll have you back.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jeff. We're excited to welcome to the set the band Toast for a performance and an interview. Take it away.
We're Toast, and this song is called The Loop. Remember the night with the satellite when you were holding my hand in the dark. The sunset at night, it was beautiful, and there was nobody I didn't like. And one day you own that house on the beach, and I'll know just where to find you. 'Cause you've always known just how to fall down in the grass and revel in respite. So hold tight, I feel it too. They never know what we will do. Hold tight, let go of the blue. We live outside of the loop. I told you that it was my favorite weather, so we went outside in the rain. Rooftop occasions and secondhand stores, you taught me it's okay to change. And one day you sat us on the beach and you moved to Colorado. 'Cause you've always known just how to fall down in the grass and revel in respite. So hold tight, I feel it too. They never know what we will do. Hold tight, let go of the blue. We live outside of the loop. Hold tight, let go of the blue. We live outside of the loop.
Hi, I'm Lauren Bates, back with Arts and Entertainment Report for PCN Life, and I'm so excited tonight to have on the band Toast. Now, for the viewers at home, some of you may know that we did a profile on them a few weeks ago, but this is the first chance we've had to really actually talk to you guys. I mean, we've spoken to your teachers and people at the Conservatory and your parents. was really awesome. Shout out your mom gave to you. So we're just really excited to have you on and to finally just have a chance to talk with you and hear you play live. So let's just talk about what you've been through together. You know, you had to audition to be in this band. You know, it's all different age groups. You guys have cut tracks. So tell me, how did you guys become the Toast you are today?
Well, we all kind of walked in with all different ideas of what our band wanted to sound like. I know one of them was blues, one of them was like hardcore rock, ska, and pop. And then for some reason, I feel like with the covers that we're doing, we started off by playing 2 covers. And I feel like Susie, the drummer, just brought a lot of that sound into play. And so I feel that that sound just originated from her. Like, just because of the way that she plays the drums and her vibe. It's like, you can't have any other genre with her.
So it's almost like the culmination of, you know, she brought a certain force and it culminated in your interests and hers, and there was kind of a driving beat, no pun intended. So you're all in high school, which is part of the program. Can you tell me a little bit about how being in the band has shaped not only your high school experience, but tell me a little bit how you feel as a person about it?
Yeah, so I'm a high school senior. It's my last year. And I would say, not debatably, it's been the best year so far because being with all of these people, I've only known them for like 5 months or something. They've made my life so much better. I think when I'm with them, I'm a musician. Like, I can adequately call myself that. And they're so passionate about it the same way I am. And it's just, I gel with them. It's like I'm the best me when I'm with them.
That's awesome. And I'm really happy for all of you. So I have to ask this question. It's kind of silly, and you sort of touched upon it earlier, but, you know, what is your music all about? Like, how does the music happen in your group?
I feel that it's very groovy. Like, it's not like, it's not exactly like funk groovy. It's more like you have, even though it's slow, there's a little bit of like a thing going on in the background. Like, it's something that you can't exactly realize, but it's something that you feel in your head. Like, you don't know it's there, but it's there. And I feel, if I were to put it to 2 words, it would be a groovy sadness. But not even sad, just like it feels sad, like a slow groove.
Well, I like that, even though sadness is kind of sad, but yes. I have to agree, you know, that your sound has this very like mellow, like deep emotional feel to it, which maybe people experience it as sadness, but there's also like a real like jive, like a real groove to your music. So I can't thank you guys enough for being on our show. You're our first full band, so congratulations for that. And thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna have them finish up with another song, and I'm Maureen Bates for PCN Life, Arts and Entertainment.
To hold your hand in mine, I want to hear your breath hitch as our fingers intertwine. I want to feel my heartbeat pulsing in my ear, and I want to know there's nowhere else you'd rather be but here. And I know it may take some time, trust won't come easily. Try to build bridges and read through the lines, but when it does, I'll show you all me. And we can lie under the stars with your head on my arm as the world flies by, where nothing moves fast and we revise the past, and I'm right where I belong. I want to stay up late just talking to you, Witness of our conversations is the moon. And threatening to break us apart is the morning sun. With two minds and two souls connecting, joining into one. And I know it may take some time, trust won't come easily. Try to build bridges and read through the lines, but when it does, I'll throw myself in wholeheartedly. And we can lie under the stars with your head on my arm as the world flies by, where nothing moves fast and we revise the past. And I'm right where I belong.
Thanks for watching PCN Life. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show.
You want to do that again?
Yeah, let's do that again. Sorry. Final take. Thanks for watching PCN Life. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show.
You can find out more about PCN Life at PACTV.org. Each story is also on YouTube, and you can follow us on Instagram as well for more behind-the-scenes info on all of our stories.
We'll see you in 2 weeks for another PCN Life.